The big India-Pakistan game in the Champions Trophy is over. And I'm going to go a little off track here, guys. Alan and Kingshuk, who have joined me on this latest episode of Sledging Room. In 2016, I think, 2016 during the Olympics, I was covering the shift here only. And there was a film, Rajnikant film called Kabali, which had humongous hype. Like that was probably his first association with one of the major film directors, one of the new modern era film directors. And I argued with my previous boss that I need an off between the Olympics or just after the Olympics when the coverage was a little busier. And I booked a 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. show. There were early morning shows here also. The hype was unimaginable, And then I finished shift at 12 and then did not sleep thinking that I'd missed the alarm. And then I went and watched that film. When I came out, I felt like how I felt yesterday evening. The disappointment of, something not living up to the hype so much, that kind of, I could feel that yesterday. I felt like, why did we write so many things? Why did we talk about so many things? Despite warnings, as in like, we had a guest column which said that this rivalry shit, don't fall for the hype. And it was one more evidence of why this rivalry is gone. Legendary Sunil Gavaskar, who spoke to us yesterday, said that he even, as in like someone who has been part of the rivalry, he's saying it's become a no contest now. Do you agree with that? As in agree, as in what do you have to say?
I completely agree with that notion because, there was a time, even when we were writing that column about our favorite moments, that 2003 match when Saeed Anwar scored the 100, Pakistan posted somewhere around 270. That was a very challenging total.
And you could feel the tension in those matches, right?
Because they had a bowling attack that had Shoaib Akhtar, Waqar Yunus and Wasim Akram. Now, when you look at it,
sorry to interrupt you there, but yesterday also they had these three people, right?
Yeah, 90s.
90s bowlers. That's
90s
what
bowlers.
Javed, their coach, said.
Yeah, what 90s, if those 90s bowlers actually hear it, I'm very sorry to say they might catch a bus and come and beat him up. You look at the bowling attack. Now, Wasim Akram stated a very interesting fact. I was looking at his post-match comments. He said that Pakistan have the second worst average amongst 14 teams that have played ODIs this year, 60. And they are worse in a group that actually contains USA and Oman. No offense to them, but they are obviously minnows when it is compared to everybody. So you have that kind of a bowling attack that was toothless. Yeah, Shaheen Shah Afridi produced one moment of magic. Abrar Ahmed produced one moment of magic. What else was there? There was nothing. There was no planning, nothing. And I'm very sorry to say, I would actually tell ICC, please don't group India and Pakistan together in the same pool.
Yeah. That's the funniest part.
Because you do it for the ticket grabs. But what are the fans getting? Pakistan fans are crying on one side saying that we are spending money, we are wasting our time for this. There is no contest. They have accepted defeat long time back. Don't do this anymore. That is my plea to the ICC because it's just done. It's just done. You have had Shubman Gill come and defend it. None of the Pakistan players or anybody said it because they were probably arrogant.
Sure. They probably were sure.
That,
or they probably were.
Yeah, that done.
Yeah.
But this contest, it's done. That rivalry is over. India's rivals right now are probably Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, those kind of big teams. India is way out of the Pakistan leagues. I would even say Sri Lanka is a bigger rival in Asia than Pakistan right now.
You don't have to put even for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
One of the...
they defeated us.
But before our Salman Ali Aga comes into mix,
what the hell?
I want to give our listeners and viewers a little bit of context of what happened yesterday and why are we so, upset about all this. Pakistan opted to bat first. The toss was won by Rizwan and that's the only thing probably he won. Not even Dil jeeta at the end of the day. So I think after batting first on that was a big advantage for them, but they managed to post 241, 152 dot balls in 300 balls. That's kind of and as in we did a copy where I saw a Pakistan fan saying this cricket belongs to the Stone Age, not even to the 90s. 152 dot balls, posting 241. And once they posted 241, you were in no doubt that India could get there. Like, even if they had lost early wickets, even if their 90s fast bowlers had stuck early, 241 was always going to be chased, right? And India eventually chased it, and the icing on the cake was a Virat Kohli 100. To this Virat Kohli, who was, people said so many things about him that he has probably lost the urge, he has probably, he can't correct his technical issues and all that. We'll come to that later, but to make it short, his 100 was the icing on the cake as India finished with like 45 balls remaining. Yeah, that's the part that I wanted to, make it clear before our Salman Ali Agha comes.
Why
in.
am I Salman Ali Agha? And
Good
what
player
the
of
hell?
spin, batting in the middle order
yes.
today.
Right.
Yeah.
And finished. देखो, in Mohammad Rizwan's immortal words,
Yeah.
या तो win है, या तो learn है.
Yeah.
So, and learn from India, learn from this game.
Hmm.
Stop fielding teams in ICC tournaments.
Yeah.
And just like sort yourself out and come back. My biggest problem is actually with the hype that the broadcasters build around these matches. And I keep comparing cricket with football. If in football, FIFA were to put Brazil and Argentina in one group in every single World Cup, you would have massive outrage. Asking questions about the FIFA management.
But the context is a little different.
It's
here,
not
right?
different. It's two sporting tournaments where teams play.
See, football is a game that is run.
It's an actual game.
It's run. In so many countries, it
course.
has the power to generate money from so many countries. Cricket maximum 6, 8, 9. But even so, you have to pull them together, especially when they're not playing bilateral series. I don't have a problem with that, but that hype, as in even people are expecting it. It's not the problem with the hype. It's the problem with not living up to the hype. The problem with Pakistan not contributing.
Okay,
to it.
so would it not be better if you were to pool in India and Australia in one group and have two cracker games, one in group stage, one later in the final?
The organizers also have this doubt. What if there is no India-Pakistan game in an ICC tournament? You pool Pakistan in the other group, inevitably they don't advance. What will happen then?
Yeah.
But
That
then
is true.
if they are facing India, just like how Kingshuk said about football, there are certain matches in football that ends in 2-1. The scoreline might be 2-1. But you are very, very sure that one team was very dominant over the other. I think even if the game, whatever the hype was, yesterday it was absolutely one-sided. You said 151 dot balls. I think Pakistan has played more than 300 dot balls in 2 matches combined.
Already,
That is equal to one match.
Actually.
One match in dots.
Yeah.
What is the standard? Okay, we were covering the match. We were actually saying that when Virat Kohli and KL Rahul's innings was criticized during the World Cup final, when he was not showing intent, and we actually came to the conclusion that this Pakistan innings was worse than that. This is a bowling attack without Bumrah.
Half-fit Shami.
Shami had to go out. Harshit Rana, who's playing his first ICC tournament, you could not. Are you saying that you could not rotate your strike against these kind of bowlers?
And my biggest problem with that Pakistan team is that they have been playing cricket since cricket started, right? Afghanistan, who probably got to hold the bat for the first time in the mid-2000s, have a better approach to playing white ball games than Pakistan. And I don't know how is that even possible. Because these guys do play T20 leagues outside. These guys do play, represent their country in top games. They have a good domestic system. What has gone wrong in Pakistan, management, country, and in the team, that they comfortably look the worst team in any tournaments that they have played in the last 2-3 years? That's my thing.
Because I think when we were doing the preview episode also, I said that I have full belief that Pakistan is going to go out of the group stages. There is no X factor in this team. You had one X factor, that was Saeem Ayub, got injured. Unfortunate, got injured. He was out. Fakhar Zaman, a veteran Fakhar Zaman is your X factor. He got injured in the second ball. Okay, that is also unfortunate. But what about other players? You are banking on other players. You are banking on a guy like Babar Azam. To his credit, a small credit that I would give is that Babar Azam tried yesterday. I don't see the criticism coming at least he tried in some way or the other to give Pakistan a good start, which was not there with Imam. Imam was almost thrown into the deep end right from the get-go. He has not played ODI for almost a year. He was out of the team. Now you are bringing him back into the side. And then you have got guys who, Saud Shakil is a very good test player, but he does not have the ability to hit big shots. That was pretty evident yesterday. He tried one big shot, he got caught out. And then you don't bring in a spinner. You have got guys like Fahim Ashraf, Usman Khan, who you are not going to be playing in any of the matches. Then why not bring in a spinner?
Yeah.
Why not add an extra spinner to help Abrar? Abrar did trouble India. That ball to Shubman Gill, I think if you could see the reaction of Virat Kohli, he was a little scared. Oh, this guy is going to do... he produced probably the ball, one of the deliveries of the tournament. Now, what are we going to do? If he had support from the other end, it could have been a contest yesterday. But apart from that, they were raving about how Aqib Javed was raving about our fast bowlers. That is our strength in white ball cricket. Your main fast bowler, Shaheen Shah Afridi, got hit for 74 runs. Virat Kohli targeted your pacers and they were out. They were completely out. Their body language was not good. They did not show anything off the pitch. Naseem Shah, after that 1 over where he got hit for a 6 and a 4 by Rohit Sharma, did not produce anything from that match. So what is wrong with Pakistan is probably they don't even know what is their best team. Who are they going to bang? Do they have a domestic circuit at all? Is that even existing at the moment? Because the whole pundits that are there, the former players are saying that the domestic cricket is dead because nobody gets a chance to play in this team. There are 7-8 players who are sticking. They keep on sticking with these players. They never produce the results. And as Kingshuk said...
They did that Champions Cup thing, remember, right before this tournament. They pulled in 5 mentors, spent an exorbitant amount of money, I think $900 million if I'm not wrong. And they brought these players together.
Are you sure about these figures?
I think so. 900 million, I remember. I'm not sure if it's Pakistani rupee or in dollars.
Yeah.
I think it's in
You
dollars.
have to be very specific about it.
Whatever, maybe we can just put a figure in there
you
to
go
correct
and
me.
Search Pakistan's GDP and then
Oh my
not
days.
even
Let's not.
Let's not.
Anyway.
No, you have to get the facts right. Because when they renovated the stadiums, it was said they spent around 17 billion.
Million?
Billion. So that
that's a
then
bit too
we
much,
saw it
no?
was rupees. It was not dollars. So you have to be very specific.
That makes sense. Yeah, we'll just maybe put it under the star mark, whatever. So, what was I saying? You killed my train of thought, man. Yeah, maybe
Champions Cup.
No, maybe this is what happens in the Pakistan selection meeting, you know?
Yeah.
Like somebody says something, somebody else says something, things get lost in translation, and they make a squad.
Mohammad Rizwan first.
Which is not even,
And
set for the conditions.
It becomes even more difficult if you have an English-speaking foreign coach. So,
I am not.
No, but you know what? When Babar was the captain, all you Babar haters said, "Oh, Babar's friends are being played. Babar has his own." But now with Rizwan, who was looked at as the savior.
Rizwan's friends are being played. Na Fahim Ashraf kahan se aaya? Who is Fahim Ashraf? Why did Imam get out in the first place? Why did Fakhar Zaman get dropped in the first place? You knew that Fakhar Zaman is your only X-Factor player. Not only did you drop him from the contract, you let him out of all your teams, and just before the Champions Trophy, you brought him back because Saim was injured.
My problem is it's not. See, if you have to stoke the India-Pakistan rivalry again, you have to get Pakistan back to where they were, or at least back to the stage in the early 2010s where they were still able to, the Misbah era, where they were still able to make it watchable. But after that, it has been like, if you call the 2021 T20 World Cup the undoing of their T20 side, the highs of the T20 side which got into their head, and they never played. They never tried to get used to the changing pace of the T20 cricket. The 2017 Champions Trophy can be, pinpointed at a similar moment for the ODIs. Since then, they have been very particular about retaining their rankings. They have been very particular about, retaining their stats. If you look at the way they have played, every other team experiments in bilateral series, right? England don't care about whether they win or not. Ben Duckett came and said, we don't care if we win in India or not. Our ultimate aim is to win the Champions Trophy. While we ridiculed that statement, while a lot of us, it made sense because if you look at it, he said, we are not worried about the results here. We want to get things right. And even Rohit Sharma says that when you make those, weird additions, when Varun Chakravarti is brought in the last moment, it's all part of, whether it works for me or not.
Yeah.
But Pakistan take pride in winning these bilateral series. Look at the way they won in Australia against a second string Australian team. Look at the way they won in South Africa against a second string South African team. And that gives a false sense of superiority that we are going to dominate this tournament. And when you lose the first two at home and when you're on the brink of elimination, see, humiliation is a very strong word, which shouldn't be associated with sport. But with
I think
Pakistan's
even-
performance this time, I think it's borderline humiliation for them.
If I am a Pakistan cricket fan and I am sitting and watching...
You're wearing green.
Yeah. I am wearing it to respect the great players who played for Pakistan, not for the current crop. When I'm sitting and watching that Mohammad Rizwan press conference and him coming out and saying, yeah, it is almost done.
It's over.
It's over.
He said it's over, yeah.
It's over. That kind of shows the entire camp. He said we are going to be 15 captains. They are playing like 15 captains. Each player has his own agenda. Each player comes into the field having his own agenda. And then you come out and say that, yeah, we are done. We are done here. That is disappointing.
That's the truth. Probably for the first time in the tournament, he has spoken truth.
But do you really want to, like, if you are going to make that statement and look defeated throughout the matches, then give a bye for everybody else. No, we would be saved of all these work that we are trying to do. Others will be saved of just wasting time and going to the grounds and watching the match, or sitting at home and watching the match.
Yeah. After all this,
But
Pakistan qualify for the final and win the
Yeah,
tournament.
that's what I was
That's
going
a
to ask.
possibility.
That Champions
As
Trophy is a
we
weird
speak-
tournament.
Yeah, as we speak,
they go
New
through?
Zealand are facing Bangladesh. If Bangladesh beat New Zealand by a big margin and then Pakistan beat Bangladesh and then India beat New Zealand, then Pakistan can go through. But it's a mathematical equation.
And then there is rain also predicted.
Then there is rain.
Where?
Pakistan versus Bangladesh. Game.
So it's as improbable as me winning an Olympic gold or something. But you never know.
There is
Archery in
there is
2036.
esports now. You could.
No, archery in 2036. We have seen 40-year-old archers going there and winning gold medals, right?
Yeah. So but will you make that cutoff in time? 40-year-old next Olympics.
2036. Yeah, but that
Oh,
we are
yeah.
straying too far away from the. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of very, as in like at one point you feel sad for Pakistan, right? You
No.
feel-
No, it's your own doing.
It's
your own doing. What have you done? Like you say, 2017, you win the Champions Trophy.
If
Things get to your head.
See, you can't look at it from the cricket point of view only.
Then what
right?
point of view? Want me to
There is a lot of political instability there. Every time a government changes, a PCB chief comes. A PCB chief is appointed by the Prime Minister.
Which still is their own doing.
But yes, there are certain things that you need to cut. They have not played international cricket at home for for 15 years. As in it was cut off in 2009 and came back to high profile international cricket only in 2021, 2019
COVID
that
period,
time.
yeah.
So it kind of when they played their first few test matches, even the home players were not aware of the conditions because they had never played there, right? They had never played international cricket there. And the domestic structure is also a problem. Like you pointed out, the Champions Cup. Every time Pakistan have to fix something, the new guy comes in and he has to show that he's working. Instead of, probably getting the domestic tournaments back on track, you introduce a new tournament with 5 flashy head coaches and all that, which is kind of the problem, right? They don't have a stable setup like the BCCI, right? So, I don't know. There is no quick fix. You can only rely on miracles like the Fakhar Zaman 100 in the Champions Trophy or the Mohammad Amir spell in the 2017 Champions Trophy or the way Shaheen bowled
in that
2021
World Cup.
But if you look at consistent success, which is something, that is, evaded Pakistan in the last few years. But coming back to Virat Kohli, honestly tell me, Alan and Kingshuk, did any of you think that he'll get these runs?
Honestly, I think with the discussions being around how Virat Kohli has not done well against spin, the surprise to me was, if you noticed yesterday's game, that final boundary he hit of Kushdil was his only boundary against spin. And he said that in his post-match interview as well, that my whole approach was that I'm going to target the pacers and I am going to be very, very careful against spinners. That was a very good tweak. obviously does not work every single time. You go against a different team who has better quality, that might not, approach might not
Like
work.
it did not work against Bangladesh, who had a better bowling attack,
Better
at least
bowl-
spin attack.
At least better spin attack. But he made that tweak, and that was a very conscious effort from him. And he also stuck to the thing where he was going to attack pacers, and he did that also. So for me, that was a big surprise, that tweak that he made. When I wrote about it, I said that probably Virat should try to sweep the spinners like how he did in the IPL 2024 season, which was successful for him. That was the one thing that I was quite surprised by. But yeah, Virat has always stepped up against Pakistan. Pakistan have almost become like that team where Virat Kohli always steps up and he delivers those runs, regardless of whatever form he is in. And that was what Harbhajan Singh also said. He said, my bold prediction is that Virat will score 100. I don't know if he's done the Bhangra yet because he has promised that also. But the fact is, against Pakistan, Virat Kohli is almost inevitable. That is what happens.
Probably Virat might write to the ICC, right?
Every match
Asking
they
for
do
bilateral series against.
Yeah.
But like that's actually a great thing that you say. Like Pakistan's biggest lesson from yesterday's game is perhaps the Virat Kohli innings. A person with 14,000 ODI runs, 51 centuries, now 52.
51. Now
51 centuries, keeps reinventing himself under criticism. That's something Pakistan have never done since the time I started following Pakistan cricket. It's the same people at the top. It's the same approach at the top. And they just continue to defend themselves and their process all the time. Virat also does that. A lot of time Virat has snapped at people saying that my process. But every time you see that his career hits a trough, goes back to Bombay, practices with Bangar, works on his short ball. Here, went to the training 90 minutes ahead. People said, Anil Kumble said that maybe he's doing a little too much. Worked for him.
Yeah.
Worked for him. Did something different and worked for him.
And the best thing was, when I was watching that Virat Kohli innings, he kept on rotating the strike. Why was Pakistan not even trying to do that in their innings? He did it perfectly. He had Shreyas Iyer also come in. Shreyas, once he saw that, okay, Virat was hitting the pacers. Now, like, the pressure might fall slowly on him. Let me try to go against the spinners. And he did that role perfectly. Yeah. You could have easily compartmentalized your innings. You did not do that. And like how Kingshuk said, like when you look at Virat Kohli, he reinvents himself. Why can't a Shaheen Shah Afridi do it? He always depends on one thing. Swing. If it does not happen, he's a very, very average bowler. He's not world class at all. Because world class players always reinvent themselves. Whenever they know that, you can look at Sachin, how Sachin reinvented himself in that Australia tour. He did not play the cover drive because he knew that people were trying to get him out at that point in time. World-class players always reinvent themselves. Pakistan do not have any single world-class player. They do not even match up to any of the Indian players right now because Indian team, we were all discussing about, are we going to mess up the combinations? Because the quality was always there. With Pakistan, the combinations are messed up, the quality is messed up, and none of them can reinvent themselves.
Tell me honestly, barring say Babar, Rizwan and Naseem, can any of these players get into Indian Ranji Trophy teams?
No.
Okay, that was a blunt assessment.
No. No, let me give you an example. Okay, you have a Mumbai team which is star-studded. Do you even think you would take a Babar Azam in that team? No.
In place of Surya, I probably would. For red ball cricket.
No, I will not.
Yeah.
I will not.
Rohit Sharma घुस गया उस team में. The Mumbai coach was pissed off that you messed up my combination. You took out two of my best batters from the team.
So the quality is there. Angrij Raghuvanshi, there is a young batter coming in. A Prithvi Shaw cannot make it into that team for obvious reasons, which we will not go into. But there are so many good players in that Mumbai team. Mumbai team has won the Ranji Trophy how many times? More than 40 times, right? Why? Because there is quality in that team.
On the vice versa, I think Pakistan would love someone like Prithvi Shaw at the top, even for those inconsistencies. Yeah, considering Saima is injured, imagine you say that someone is there who can give you a 40 ball 60, but with a little bit of off-field troubles, they'll be like, okay, that's probably But you know what I thought about Virat Kohli coming back there? we all speak about, oh, he did that with spin, he did that with his. But if you want to be blunt, he still has issues. It can't go away in one day. Like Rishad Hossain got him out when he was trying to play back foot, that cut shot. You mentioned in your copy where he doesn't play a lot of back foot shots, but he has been making a conscious effort to do that. But more so, I think, he still has those technical deficiencies. We saw that in Australia where, people made plan, as in Australian bowlers made plans and they got him out every time. But I think we have seen cricket before. And MS Dhoni, what technique did he have? As in, he had his own technique, but he had that, mental resolve. He had that courage, to show that, okay, I can get better than what the opponent is planning. Likewise, Virat, people doubted his hunger. People doubted his mental strength. So I think that's why that Pakistan knock is going to be very important. It's still a big game. We might say, oh, but if India had lost, then we would have all trained our guns on the Indian team. So I think that mental strength, that was a show of his mental strength. That I am at this age, probably my hand-eye coordination is not as good as it was. Probably I have some technical issues. I get out to spin more than I used to in the past. But I still have that hunger and that mental ability to mask those deficiencies and score those runs. Yesterday, if you look at it, it was a spotless innings. There was no drop chances. I don't think there was even an LBW shout. So I think, I am very happy that Virat scored, but I'll be wanting to look at him. Look at what he does against better bowling lineups, like someone like Mitchell Santner.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Someone like a Mitchell Santner, or I don't know, as in like, or go to Sri Lanka and play their spinners there. So, but you know what? You can't rule him out here. Like, you can't say that, you can't write Endulkar pieces about Virat Kohli yet. You will be proved wrong like how the master proved people wrong. That's probably what I want to say about Virat. I love Virat, as in like, I want him to score. But that the theatre that he brings, especially when it is green shirts.
At the end of the day, when you look at yesterday, I think all said and done, the most anticipation in the match, the most tension in the match was when everybody was wondering if Virat will get to his 100.
The most horrifying part of it was seeing Hardik Pandya walk
and come in and
when
start
Virat
bashing.
needed 20-15 runs in the end.
I started bashing.
Yeah.
That was the only part that was most entertaining in that point. And I think Akshar also said about it. He was doing his maths, like what Virat has to do.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted Virat to get to the 100.
Yeah.
That's it. End of the day, that was the whole point at the end of the
It would have been very good had we sent Rizwan as his batting partner when Virat needed 20. You would pakka know that Rizwan wouldn't show intent.
Yeah, and put pressure on Kohli to get the runs also. So, that was probably it. And probably with his age also, I think he joked yesterday that, it's a good thing that we have a week off.
Break.
1 week off, because I am 36 and as a 36-year-old, I think I want to put my feet up for at least 1 or 2 days. Maybe the 23, 24-year-old kids might not be happy with it, but I am very happy. Let me just rest for some time and recalibrate. And probably that comment that Kumble made, is he trying too hard? Probably the biggest thing was seeing a 36-year-old come up and lead the team on the field during that practice session. Then obviously we were worried when he had a ice pack on his leg. That all that adds to the aura of the man. That is what at the end of the day, that he's his powers are waning. He is 36. He's not the same angry, destructive batter that we have all seen over the years. He's kind of mellowed down. He's become a very, very calm person. He does not pick up fights. He does pick up fights, but he does not pick up fights unnecessarily as often as he used to.
Before you say unnecessarily, think about the Sam Collins.
Sorry. But then again, that's all the aura of the man. And credit to him. Great innings. And like you said, spotless. Hope that form continues as well.
But what do you think about the other teams, Kingshuk?
Yeah, I was waiting like we
your
said.
Brendan McCullum love has been exposed again.
Why?
As in if you can't beat that Australian team, then I'm sorry, we are going to probably be endless.
But Ben Duckett already said that it doesn't matter if you win bilaterals against India. It only matters if you win the Champions Trophy final. So group stage matches also don't matter. Who cares?
But one thing that I noticed about that England team performance was that at least one batter stayed through. I think Kingshuk was also telling me that, probably this is the longest time Ben Duckett has spent on
No, we actually looked at the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And in between his test innings, he's a great test batter. So amongst all of his test centuries, this is like the second most number of balls that he has played in his entire career. In an innings.
And he did well. He scored 165. But the fact is, the problem with the England team is that there is nobody in form to probably complement him. If he had scored 165, if someone
also chipped in.
But you need one more contribution coming in, right? You need another 71 of, let's say, 36, 35 balls or 200 strike rate innings. That was not there. These guys tried and then they failed. And their bowling is still subpar. Nobody is there apart from Adil Rashid. You see of Adil Rashid, that's it. Nobody else contributed, and that track was basically a road. And yeah, I mean, Josh Inglis was spectacular that day. I personally did not give Australia a chance, but the way that Carey and Josh Inglis paced that innings, England were searching for answers, and they have been searching for answers since the end of the ODI World Cup. Nothing is working, and probably again they need to ask questions about Josh Butler also, his captaincy, his form. These are things that need to be questioned, and unfortunately there are no questions coming up.
I think you were a bit too severe with your batting performance. As in, like, if you score 330 odd runs and you still lose, yes, like you said, it was a road and there was dew. But in a major tournament, 330 probably is a good score batting first. And I think this is where I think we should give credit to Australia, saying that they took them by surprise. Like, you did not. I think they lost 2 early wickets. Ravi said and Steve Smith was gone. And most of us thought, okay, this is a done deal. England are going to, run through and then win this match. But then these Australians, whenever they come to an ICC tournament.
And the planning...
I don't actually agree to that.
What?
I don't actually agree to your assessment of that 330 is like a good score in any tournament. Because I remember in that match when Duckett was playing that innings, by the 40th over, the conversation was 380 जा सकता है, 380, 375 जा सकता है,
400 even.
Yeah, that's when the collapse happened. Against that, and like if you compare that to the Australian innings, Josh Inglis did score 120 of like 86 balls, right? But the majority of that barrage of shots came at the very end of his innings. So he was able to sustain the pressure and let go of himself when they thought that England were trying a little too much, like trying to take those wickets. That's something that we have heard again and again in this Champions Trophy, how these batters have a lot of time, even if they can't see it. So the idea is that till the 40th over, if you can save up on wickets, you can really let go. And on flat batting tracks, you can manage those 120, 110 runs at the end. Tell me one batter in England who would play 50 balls, score 25 runs, and then say that, yeah, you know what, I can take this deep. Not a single one. Everyone wants to play their shots at the start, set the tempo, and then carry on. That's the biggest difference between an Australian side right now and an England side right now. The mentality of it.
When you go home, when this episode of Sledging Room is published, listen to what you said now. 50 balls, 25 runs. And then go bang at the end, right? When MS Dhoni does it, Kingshuk has a problem. I am just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there because the IPL 2025 is coming as well.
But I think that is like he said, probably that is the biggest downfall or biggest flaw of baseball, right? That you have to go hell for leather at all points in time. I remember this because Brendan McCullum was the coach of KKR. And this was a game against Rajasthan Royals. And this was Shreyas's first season as captain. He was scoring 87. We were set to chase down some 200 odd runs. The match was well set. Everything was going fine. Shreyas went for a shot, got out to Yuzvendra Chahal. But the run rate was well in control because the batters were targeting Obed McCoy from the other end. So you had Yuzvendra Chahal, see off is over. He got Shreyas Iyer, fine, but you still have batters. See him off. Target Obed McCoy, get the win. That is the agenda. No. Everybody came in, everybody tried to target Yuzvendra Chahal, gave him a hat-trick, lost the match. and lost the match not by like a heavy margin, by 4 or 5 runs.
McCallum era at KKR must have been nightmarish.
Oh, it has been, and that is the same thing he has taken to England. We were all surprised by how they played in Test cricket, but ODI cricket, this approach does not work because you need certain. Expect a Shubman Gill, if he was playing against Bangladesh and decided, okay, everything is done, now I'm going to play my shots. No, that's not how it works.
He himself said, as in like Shubman Gill beautifully explained that after the match, he was asked, okay, Rohit Sharma said that you guys are playing a new brand of ODI cricket. Is it going to be attack at all time or how is it going to be? He said, no, it's not going to be attack at all time. Probably we'll go for the shots at the when the bowler is under pressure. And he also beautifully explained the relationship between him and Rohit. That Rohit always takes the aggressive route. He takes more risks in the power play. Well, that allows me to settle down. So probably that's how it should work, right? Everybody can't go helter-skelter and throw the kitchen sink at every ball. So
exactly.
That's something that
England does not have that kind of a batter.
Now it probably makes me understand. Like I was thinking when Brendan McCallum was appointed as a test coach, is it a wrong move? Would he not be more suited for white ball? But I think probably he's not suited for white ball now.
Yeah.
If you ask our colleague Saurabh, who's unfortunately injured, he'll say Brendan McCallum doesn't belong in the coaching room at all, dressing room at all.
Saurabh went to baseball on the road.
He was a great player, but not a good coaching material. But I don't know, as in it's still early days.
Yeah.
But your quick reflection before we wrap up this episode of Sledging Room on, we had given predictions before the start of the Champions Trophy. Do you guys stick to it, and how have you seen them? My biggest concern is we all had high hopes from Afghanistan, but probably the way they started against South Africa was limp.
I think their batting, apart from that, Gurbaz firing, if he is not firing, the pressure falls on the other guys, and the other guys have not been able to step up.
And they also played Sedikul Atal in that match, right? We spoke about him in detail before the...
I think that game, that entire momentum that was supposed to be set in the first 20 overs, they could not do it. I think Shahidi came in, he said that, we failed there. But, yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed by that performance. I don't think their bowling was that bad. Yeah, 300 was expected on Pakistan tracks. They have been flat throughout. 315 was still okay. They did well, but, yeah, I mean, their batting was a problem, and I think that could be a problem.
The narrative around that match also surprised me a little bit, because a lot of people whom I met were saying, Afghanistan will roll over South Africa. South Africa never plays spin well. But that perception is completely wrong. South Africa have become one of the most improved spin playing sides in the recent years. Like, look at their batting lineup. Miller is experienced. Klaasen is experienced. Temba Bavuma can play spin really well.
Don't forget
Rassie van der Dussen can play really well. Markram, if he's in the mix, if he wants to do it well, he will do well. With all those IPL experiences that they've had, they have become a very dangerous side. And that's why I was a little surprised. Yeah, you can put your money on Afghanistan, but it's too harsh to say that they probably will run over. Probably that is a few, that I heard it from a few people. I don't know whether you heard such previews from people.
In a no mental pressure game, they have an extremely balanced side.
And they have very good spinners as well. Keshav Maharaj, one of the best spinners who can exploit any conditions. And also they have Tabraiz Shamsi who's sitting outside, and your man who can roll over his arms when needed. So that looks like a solid side. I think they will make the semi-final.
So what was your prediction from the Afghanistan
and South Africa?
Do you still stick to that, or do you go Australia and South Africa?
Looking at what Australia did that day was a genuine surprise for me. I have to accept it here. And after this win, knowing Steve Smith, he'll not let it go. I think it is Australia and South Africa from that group. And India-Pakistan from this group.
India-Pakistan?
Let's believe in miracles. I hope when we walk out of this room...
I think we both synchronize.
Whoa!
I hope when we walk out of this room... I hope when we walk out of this room, New Zealand are... Bangladesh are 300 for 3 in 30 overs.
If that is the case, I think Sabya would have already left the building by now. But let's see.
But let's believe in miracles. India-Pakistan final in the Champions Trophy.
No, I don't want that. I think I would...
What do you guys think?
What was your prediction for the...
I think India, New Zealand and South Africa, Afghanistan. But yeah, I think now I feel South Africa, Australia and India, New Zealand. End of.
You were not with us when we made the when we were in the previous episode where we previewed the Champions Trophy.
Yeah, but I think I did my
What would
prediction in
have-
the one before that.
Okay, then has it changed now? What was your prediction? And
My
has it changed
prediction was South Africa, Afghanistan, and India, New Zealand, and I stick to that because I think what Australia did, that the fact that their batting bailed them out, it's not going to happen every day. And their bowling is going to leak more runs against other team than England.
So you are saying England or Afghanistan? Who are going? As in like South Africa or Afghanistan are your picks?
Yeah.
And you're sticking to them.
Yeah.
I think it's time to ask our viewers and listeners also. Probably the first round of matches are over. India and New Pakistan play their second round on Sunday. What they think about the tournament, whether it has been exciting or not, and who do they think will go from here. Please send in your predictions and feedback on 8588966996. If you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, please do rate us. And like we always say, if you're watching us on YouTube, please leave your comments. We'll learn more from your feedback. Thank you. Have a great week.